Alright, here we go with our linoleum cutter. The thing you want to realize is when you're cutting your lines, I have a number 2 blade loaded in here. That's the most versatile for a piece this small. When you're removing material, I'm going to go around the outside of the cup here. I am rotating the little block and always cutting away from myself. Now I can always switch to a larger blade, but what I want to do is anytime I have a line I need to follow, I'm going to go ahead and carve that line by rotating the block. And you can see that's removing the material. So anywhere where we cut away the material, we are going to end up having the ink not touch that part, which is what we want. Gray away, black stay. So I'm going to try my best to be accurate to my drawing. But if you make any little mistakes, you just do your best to turn them into a happy accident so that you'll have a workable stamp symbol. You can see I've got my little coffee cup here. You guys may not be coffee drinkers as yet. You may never be coffee drinkers, but for those of you that enjoy a cup of coffee, you know how important it is to your morning routine. So I'm going to come around here, capture the top portion of the cup, always keeping my fingers well away from the edge of the blade. Alright, so I think I've gotten most of my little heat swirls. I'm going to go ahead and try to get the detailed areas inside the cup. So there's a little like highlight that I have around the back edge. So I'm going to go ahead and define that first. Alright, so that's defining the back edge of the cup. And we'll go ahead and define down here the lower edge of the cup. And again, I find it much easier to hold the blade straight and turn the linoleum as you're making your cuts. Trying to cut and turn is dangerous. You could lose your place and like jab your fingers, so you want to avoid that. Alright, so again, I'm using the number 2. I'm going to go ahead and start my line here. Okay, and this is soft cut linoleum, so it's actually very, very easy to cut. There are other types of linoleum out there that are a little more firm, require a little bit more pressure. This one you just kind of hold it at a 45-degree angle and you slowly remove that material. So I may take a moment at some point in this demo video when I go back and edit it for you guys to see. I may speed up this process just for the sake of everyone's attention spans. But once you have your idea formulated, it's actually pretty easy to get going with this process, because when we use our stamp, any area that's been cut away won't receive ink. So even though it looks a little bit messy and choppy in there, I can swap out the blade real quick because I have a lot of material to remove. I think maybe I'll switch to the number 4 blade. Okay, I'm just going to slide it into there, tighten it up. So this will be easier for me to carve away larger amounts of material. You can see how much that's removing when it goes around. I'm going to use that to isolate all the little bits that I need. Now, it's possible that you'll end up with some little bits of ink hitting some of your carved areas, and that's not the end of the world. In fact, it might give it a little character, but again, I want to try to remove the material that I didn't want in my design. But again, if there's like these little kind of wood grain looking things, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world for my design. So, because the rest of my work here is very detailed, I'm going to switch back to the number 2 blade. Right now, it may be a little out of focus. You can see in there, there's kind of a half moon gap. That's where the round side of the blade goes back in. Tighten that up, twisting it, all right? And I'm just going to take care of the remainder of this detail work. May do another pass below there. All right, now when I have a tight area like this little corner here, I'm going to try to work from the inside out. I'm going to press lightly down and then rotate, press slightly down and then rotate. And I can take little tiny cuts to remove the rest of that material. And you guys will have the option of kind of testing these with your ink pads. We have a bunch of different colors of ink. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try to get that little highlight under the saucer. Okay. And then I'm going to try to get the area inside the saucer. Mine got a little smudged, but I know more or less what I want. And again, you won't make any perfect single cut that encompasses everything you're trying to draw and then eventually stamp. It takes a good number of small passes, little tiny cuts with the cutting blade to remove the material that you need to remove. So don't try to go all the way around your design all in one go. That's what we call a fool's errand. You'll never be able to get that very accurately, so what we want to do is a bunch of smaller cuts that kind of do the job for us. Okay, so that's looking pretty good for the saucer, the cup, the coffee. I do want a little highlight in my coffee, so I'm going to do a small curve, like a crescent moon there, to make the coffee look somewhat shiny. Okay, now I have some work to do inside the negative space between the mug handle and the mug itself. Now I am attempting that in one go, but I feel like I got it fairly well. Now I'm going to round off that handle a bit, pull those pieces away. Looking good, looking good. All right, I think I just want to soften that edge just a little more. And then make sure there's no extra bits sitting up there. You can see I've got a little bit of cutting to do at the top edge here. I'm just going to kind of remove that. And again, because we're using this soft block linoleum, it's fairly easy to remove. Get the roundness of that edge. See a little piece there that didn't fall out.
No. Your whole apartment have.
I'm recording a demonstration video. What's going on? Yeah, no worries. What's up?
Demonstration. Do you have any spray adhesive?
Yeah, you see the door over there to the left? There's a can of Super 7 up there. It's the one with the black cap. Yeah, help yourself.
All right, I'll bring it back. I just need to squirt piece of table from.
Well, that stuff holds pretty well.
Yeah, you gotta let it dry and then contact it.
Yeah. Oof.
photo saves, that's why y'all use it.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, sorry for the interruption.
Oh yeah, not a worry. All right, so, pardon the interruption, I think I've got most of the material done. I'm going to do a quick test print of this. Let me slide this stuff out of the way. Now, I haven't mounted my handle to the back yet, but I'm going to go ahead and just grab one of the ink colors. I've got a nice little green here. I'll open that up and give it a quick test. Okay, you can see where the green is hitting. That's where we're getting the ink. You can kind of rub it on there, press it in. And I've got a few bits here and here that have picked up ink where I didn't intend, but again, it'll give it kind of a nice look. I can decide whether I want to, let me ghost that out before I reload it. I can decide whether I want to go back in and carve those away later, but I may work with it for now as it is. Now this is water-based ink, so if you get some on your fingers, you just go over to the sink and wash it off. Okay. See, I've already got a little on my thumb, no big deal. Alright, so I'll press that flat. And let's see how it does. Not bad. Alright, so I've got my coffee cup stamp. I'm going to be able to have fun with this. I will have Gorilla Glue and little wooden spools that you guys can use to make your stamps a little easier to handle by affixing a handle to them. So that's where we are going with our initial printmaking project of our stamp design. Alright, have fun with this, guys.